What's up, everybody? It's Jacob coming to you from an undisclosed location in Denver, Colorado, near the Rocky Mountains. Sorry, I'm a little disheveled today. I just upgraded to a new laptop, and I think I got everything kind of working a little bit, but I added a neat little feature that I'm going to try tonight to demonstrate AI agents a little bit. But I hope everybody's doing well. I know it is Memorial Day weekend. You're probably here instead of enjoying barbecue or whatever, but I really appreciate that. Thanks for coming out. Yeah, so I'm a little frazzled, so I apologize. I'm not as clear-headed as I normally am because I just literally got my camera working. This new setup is the new computer has special chips in it for running AI. So what I'm going to be able to do is run my own chatbots locally on my own computer instead of relying on ChatGPT, which is something that you can do, and I will demonstrate at some point. But for right now, hopefully it looks like I have my levels. Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me. And it looks like we got a couple new members in here tonight, which is really cool. We had a big growth spurt. Well, maybe not a big growth spurt, but we had a significant number of new subscribers come in over the last week and a half. And we've been doing, oh, thanks, Night Owl, appreciate that. Also, too, with this setup, I reduced the latency so that there's only really like a 10-second delay. So maybe next live, I'm actually going to try what they call ultra low latency, so that it's actually going to be like a Zoom call. So we'll be interacting in real time, which brings me to what's next for the stream. Because of this computer now, I don't hear this hot hair dryer blowing next to me. I am adding new features. So one of the features I added already we'll do tonight to demonstrate some things. And I also have it so that if anybody does any super chats or becomes a new subscriber, it'll interact on the live stream, which is really cool. So I'm going to start adding some more chatbot technology, start integrating some more AI interacting in the chat with you guys and also in the stream. So that's starting to happen now that I have the new computer. And looks like all of my thank you, sir. I'm not sure how to say this, but I appreciate you. I saw that you're a new subscriber, so thanks for coming. I really appreciate it. Let's see. We got Night Owl, who confirms my sound is good. The inaugural channel member, very first person to become a channel member, and of course we got Shadrach. What's up? Thanks for coming out, Shadrach. Another channel member. Awesome. I'm also planning on doing some more. I mentioned like chatbots and AI being in like interacting with you guys in the chat. But what I'm going to do is here pretty soon, because I'm using some other tools, which I'm debating whether or not I should record me doing it or not. I'm actually using a new web development tool that's AI driven to do the layer interface for these games that I'm building. And yeah, it's pretty scary because that's what I used to do for a living. So yeah, I think within a year, what I did is my job will just, it'll be gone. it'll mostly be gone, which is fine. Which kind of brings me to what the last series of videos I've been doing. So forgive me, I'm trying to work out some kinks here. You don't want to see all that ad stuff, which actually shouldn't be showing up because I'm supposed to be in an account that is logged in. What am I doing? What am I doing? Hold on here. Just bear with me. I apologize. I thought I had that kink worked out. New streaming deck, but man, this thing's like butter. Like I don't even hear it. I can't even feel any heat or anything coming off this computer. It's crazy. Just give me one moment. I apologize. This is all live. And it's so cool that everybody came out. It's always enjoy doing this, interacting with you guys in real time. So I wanted to pull up something here on YouTube that I thought I had queued up, but of course, like I said, I had to reboot a couple times and thought I had my camera going, and it's just been a crazy adventure. I was probably a little too bold, thinking, oh, I'll just convert everything over to the new rig and nothing bad will happen, right? But that's not how it goes. All right, so let me see here. All right, so back to what I was gonna do. Yes, so you've probably been noticing I changed up things a little bit. Those of you that are new, this is probably what you're used to seeing, but for the folks that have been around for a while, this is a pretty new look. And I've always talked about how, and even though I talk about like using AI as a content creator, a lot of this applies to learning skills for regular jobs and things. And the next thing that I'll be getting to will connect some dots for you. So you'll notice that I changed my thumbnails, and that is actually me generated through the AI. I put pictures into it and started talking to it a little bit about what I wanted my thumbnails to look like, and it just started putting me in there. And this one looked so good. The lighting on the side, you know, I'm sorry, the mouse is in the wrong spot. The shadows and everything on the side, the lighting, it's so balanced. It's so good that it doesn't matter where I drop this in, the colors are just amazing. They just fit everything. As opposed to what I was doing earlier. I was kind of doing these big yellow banners with my long hair, because these are pictures that I took way back in December in the middle of winter, where I'm still wearing my vest, and you know, I'm a cheapo, so I don't turn the heat on much in my house. Just, you know, that's just the way I am. And so, you know, I dressed up for the outside on the inside. So I get a lot of comments like, why are you wearing a stocking cap in the house? But anyway, so yeah, since then I shaved off my beard, cut my hair off, and I thought, well, I need to get some new images. So I started talking with the AI a little more about how, you know, hey, I got this new look. I want to change my thumbnails. And it's really been helping me improve, because I'll just upload, as I make the changes, I upload the thumbnail to ChatGPT and I'll say, hey, you know, what do you think of this in context of the video we've been talking about that I'm making? It just nails it every time, and the views have just been really, the views just keep getting more and more. So just wanted to share that a little bit with you guys, that, you know, having regular conversations about what you're doing with the AI is really important. And, you know, up until this point, I've really just been heavily leaning on ChatGPT, you know, this little interface here, where, you know, you just do a single query. And as I was talking about in, let's see, which video was it? I think it was, yeah, I think it was the work was an illusion, where I started talking more about AI agents. And I had quite a few people say, hey, I want to see you do something with agents. So I am putting something together. I'll show you a little bit what it's looked like, but I thought tonight I would talk a little bit more about what agents are, because frankly, for those of you that are newer, I'm studying cloud architecture, and I'm emphasizing learning how to build generative AI, which is basically how to build ChatGPT for your own company. And that's one level. And then there's agents, where you translate, like I talked about in that video, the AI broke the spell, where you're translating messy business processes into flows that these AIs can understand. And so I'm going to talk a little bit about some different types of agents, because the word agents is actually getting abused a little bit. And so it's even more confusing. My camera's a little off focus, but I'm not going to fix it. I don't want to tempt fate. So we'll just go with this. But hopefully, I think just kind of looking at the dashboard, it looks smoother. It looks good, because I increased the bit rate. Man, I love this new rig. I'm excited. Okay, so let's talk. Well, anyway, so yeah, ChatGPT. That's what I was trying to get at. This is single query stuff, where you just type in what you want, and okay, there we go. So you just type in what you want, and you just have a conversation with the AI. Hold on, let me grab. The reason why I keep grabbing for my keyboard is I have a special gadget tonight that I that I want to demonstrate. But here, hold on. I'll work this out at some point. Here we go. Let me just do this. There we go. That should work. All right. Let's see. So, you know, just a single query. You just type in, you know, tell me about quantum physics. And you know, I'm just, you know what? I'm just going to misspell it. Just do a misspell, as if I'm 4 years old, right? See if I can figure out an analogy, right? So just a single query. We do this all the time, right? So you get a result back really quick. And then last week, I demonstrated one type of agent where I wanted to find woodworking plans. And I knew that was going to take a lot of research, a lot of looking around at YouTube videos, articles, and things like that. So I used this tool that's built in to ChatGPT called Deep Research. And that is more of where it'll go off. And as I demonstrated last week, it took about 10 minutes for it to go out and find the exact kind of woodworking plans that I wanted based on, you know, I had very limited tools. I only had a miter saw. I had a particular type of, I'm a beginner, and I only really do pocket joints. If you know, you know, but you know, I'm not doing joinery with the feathering and the dowels and the tenons and all that stuff, all that complicated stuff. So pretty limited skill. So I told the AI all of that, and it went out and found plans. It took 10 minutes to go out, and it found plans based on my skill level, the limited number of tools and all that. So that's a very common form of an agent. But there's all kinds of other ones. So let's demonstrate. So I got this new gadget here. Let's see if this works. You're like, hey, he got dark. What's going on? Well, I've set it up so that I can draw on this screen here. So let's see if that works. All right, so we got the draw there. Okay, good, awesome. Let me get the keyboard out of the way here. So sometimes it's just easier to draw and demonstrate, you know, or draw what I'm talking about as opposed to like just use my hands. I'm Italian, you know, not everybody can speak with their hands. All right, so agents is a very, very generic term, but the major difference is they are autonomous. And I am just going to spill auto because I know I'll biff that word. So that means they work by themselves, right? And as part of that, oops, my mic, I can't see what I'm doing. They can work with prompts, right? Just like in ChatGPT, but also they can go off and there's like an n minutes, right? They go out and they go out and do the work, and then they come back and provide an output, right? So there's sort of like this loop where it goes around and around, and you interact with it that way. So that's a very, very common form of an agent. So that's kind of like what we did with ChatGPT. Then there's ones that are like process based. And typically they're like a flow chart, right? So you got boxes. So you can say, you know, check a folder. So I'll just say, you know, like Google Drive, check a folder for a file, download the file, you know, and then send the file to ChatGPT. And then here you've got your prompt, and then have it like summarize it. And then you get your output. You can have the output to an email or something like that. So that's like, it's just a process, right? So it's triggered. Another form of an agent, and this is where we start getting into some Skynet stuff. And we do have this technology, by the way. We actually do have Skynet, if you can believe that or not. Although it's not, you know, Well, I shouldn't say that. It is controlling weapons. There was a company that just launched those jets and those drones, and we have Palantir. So, you know, anyway, but typically with the other form of agents is you'll have like, called like a swarm. We'll just call it, it's like a swarm. So you have like a big, whoops, here, I'll just start over. I can't erase individual. That's the drawback of this. So we have like a swarm. And this is like a big daddy AI that controls everything. And then inside the swarm are a bunch of little teeny tiny AIs, right? And each one of these is good at something. I won't say specifically, but, you know, I'll just, right? So each one of these is a little AI, right? And there is an overall goal that you tell daddy AI. There's an end goal. And each one of these AIs has a capability that they're optimized for, that when done together in parallel or in sequence, however the daddy AI and all the other individual AIs determine to solve the goal, they'll do that. This is crazy, sky level shit. So if one of these goes down, right, daddy AI will just make another one. It'll just spawn another one. So yeah, self-healing, self-correcting, and they learn pretty incredible stuff. That is pretty high level stuff. We're not going to do that. What we're going to do is, or what I'm going to show you is the flow, the one, the flow chart one. It goes like from left to right. And I was working on one, but unfortunately, whoops, dropped my pen. Don't poke your eye out, Jacob. This is live. So, oh, I'm going to save that for later. Yeah, so the swarm AIs or the agentic AIs that are, this is kind of the ones that are kind of more like used on like research, solving larger problems. And the process AIs are more like, you know, Betty types a document, and then that document goes to this department, and that department, you know, does some editing, and then the editor sends it off to maybe to graphic design to add some pictures. And then those pictures are then color corrected and so on. So each box in that flow chart has a specific task. All right, so let's see if I can show you kind of the idea that I have, because I actually have a question for you all, because I have two ideas of some agents that I want to build that I think y'all would find really useful. But I kind of just want to show you, you know what, actually, it takes a little, they're a little more advanced, because you have to understand like where things live, and you've got to give things permissions. So let's see if I can do this without blowing stuff up. Let's try that. All right, so I'm in the completely wrong window. That's okay. And I still moved it to the wrong window. All right. There we go. I have the right one up. Move the tab over, Jacob. You can do this. There we go. All right. So this is a very popular agent tool called N8N, right? So I'll spell that for you. N8N. I have no idea what that stands for. There's probably some nerd reason for this. When I first heard about this, I thought it was nation, because it's like, you know, a nation of AIs or something. But what's really cool about this is that you can't see what I'm doing. Is that it's no code, right? You just drop a box, connect the boxes, and everything flows according to the chart here. So let me see if I can, there we go. And the idea was, I was trying to get this to work to do the basic one, because I want to mention the next ones I'm going to do, and I'll give them out to the community because I think these will help folks. But the idea is that I drop a file into Google Drive in a specific folder, right? So that's the first box in the process, or one AI, so to speak, that's triggered. There's a trigger happens that, or this particular flow watches, right? So it goes out. That's its sole duty, is to go out and just watch that folder. Where's that folder? So here I'll see if I can, just to demonstrate here. Make sure I'm not showing anything inappropriate. All right. Because what I was going to do was I was going to upload a document and then have ChatGPT read it back to me in a summary like Yoda. It's just as a cute little, fun thing to do. But unfortunately, I ran into some barriers. Was because my camera and everything, bro. I was man, not a good night. So next week we'll have something. But anyway, let me get back to what I was talking about here. So let me show you this folder thing. Right, so there's this folder called Yoda Wisdom, and inside that folder, I drop a text file, which happens to be the transcript to the Age of Human AI Orchestrators. So that's a transcript to that video that I did, which is, I think, this one, because that was my original title for it. And so that N8N is waiting for a file to be put in there, and then it downloads it, right? So that's this box, it downloads it. I was getting an error, so I was trying to fix that. And then there's some nerd shit where you got to convert it. Won't get into that. And then here's the ChatGPT. So I talked to ChatGPT, and inside here, so again, we talk about prompt engineering, and so it's the reason why I've been talking more about prompting in ChatGPT. Basic prompt engineering is a core skill in these AI agents, these process flows. So it's just another building block, and why I've been teaching that. So I did have it in here to say, you are Yoda, you are wise. I don't even remember what I was telling it, but basically, read it like Yoda. And so that prompt is, like what we type in this box down here, will be sent to ChatGPT automatically. This is the version of ChatGPT model we're going to use. And then I would have it send the summary, the Yoda summary, to me in my email box. So that's just a really basic idea of what a agent can do. And what's really cool about this technology, if you're a little more savvy, this is cloud-based, but you can actually run this same technology on a local machine. How about that? So that's another reason why I wanted to show this to you, is that, if you want to go the extra mile and build your own agents and do your own fun stuff in your house, and there's a good reason for that, because all the stuff that I'm showing you in here, it's all cloud-based. It all lives on the cloud. But what if you're manipulating files on your local computer? I use a note organizer called Obsidian, and that only runs on my local machine. So I could have N8N running on a computer on my network, and I could have it be watching a shared folder on my computer and my network. And whenever I update a note, which brings me to what I want to do with this. There's actually two things that I wanted to do. The first thing is I want to build an agent that when I go for morning walks, I have started dictating ideas. And it takes a lot of work to translate that into text and then put those in the appropriate parts of my note tracking system. So what I want the agent to do is from my phone, after I dictate it, I can share the audio up to Drive. And then just like in here, N8N is watching the drive for an audio file. It downloads it. And then I can put another box in here and say, okay, now I want you to convert the audio to text. And the part that really takes a super long time is organizing all that text. So I can write a prompt for ChatGPT to say, hey, you know, take my ideas, organize them, categorize them for like tasks, personal, work-related, all kinds of categories, have it tag everything, and then it'll just all be sitting inside my Nord organizer, ready for me to go in and continue the rest of the work or schedule or do whatever I need to do. So that was one idea. But how about this? What if we could figure out a way to take our resume, upload it or store it somewhere where we just have this big, long, honking resume for anybody, everybody, anybody, everywhere, right? No matter what job you apply to. And then we can send a LinkedIn or job board entry to the AI and say, okay, write me a tailored resume for this job description and a tailored cover letter to, you know, say whoever the hiring manager is or whatever. So it might have to go out and do a little bit of research and then email those to you. And then you can pull them into whatever software. You know, you don't want to trust AI 100%, but, you know, at least have it, you know, all written, ready for you to go. Then you can review it, get it ready, touch it up, and then submit it. I thought that would be a really useful agent for all of us, because I'm looking for work, and anything I can do to make this faster, why not, right? Okay, so let's go in the chat here. And I'm sorry, I'm a little scatterbrained tonight. This was, you know, I'm surprised I got this all working as fast as I did on the new machine. Yeah, so if there is a parent AI, is there a presumption of a child AI? Well, no, I guess the best way I could describe is everything's an agent, and let me just draw that for you. So with the parent AI, right? So you have the big Papa AI or Mama AI, whatever. And that's one agent. Because that's the thing about agents is like everything is agentic, everything's autonomous. So these little guys are agents too. So everything, because agent is short for agency, which meaning you're on your own, you're autonomous. So you could spend a lot of time building this one agent. This could be like, you know, hundreds of thousands of dollars of development time, just as a, you know, if you're a large company, that one agent, this one agent right here, could probably be used for something else, but in the context of the larger system, the swarm, it's part of the larger goal. This is also called an agent too. So that's what I was trying to get at, is like the term agent is just bantied around all over the place, and it's kind of confusing. But yeah, they wouldn't be called child AIs, I guess is all I'm saying. They would still be called agents. Yeah, you know, my idea of work is to have an AI agent run as an entity on my behalf and make money for me. Well, you know, yes, but this is what a lot of companies are doing right now. This is where the layoffs are coming from, because they're like, you know, hey, yeah, Betty, who just wrote the documents and passed them on to the next department, we don't need Betty anymore. That's kind of what's happening, because especially if you're working with anything inside the computer, agents will dominate, absolutely just destroy jobs left and right, left and right. That's where you're going to see it first. Which is why what I was kind of talking about in that one video, human skills, AI can't replace, where it's not just that, you're going to be able to do the prompt engineering, and then from prompt engineering, because actually I said it, but I didn't drop. So like the first level to get started is to do the prompt engineering. So this is like GPT, right? And then the next level is to take that prompt engineering and spread it out to agents that do very specific parts of what a prompt can do. Because sometimes prompts can be really long. Like I've written 200-word prompts many, many times. But sometimes like, especially with ChatGPT, it's like you can tell it to do a whole bunch of stuff, but then if you ask it to generate like 4 images, it'll stop on the first image. But you need to do 4 images. So that's where an agent like works really well, where it'll just loop back and go, okay, image 2, image 3, image 4. So yeah. So and then kind of like the next level of that is where I'm living at the moment, is where you are designing these things. You're we'll just say the IT infrastructure, right? So any jobs around like where the AIs physically reside. So that could be a data center. It could be the different aspects of how you train the AIs. There's data engineering, so all the technology that goes in to shove the data into the AIs and save the data that's generated by them. So there's all kinds of jobs that are ancillary to that. But I think most people, this is not for most people. This is where, right here is where a lot of people are going to land. Or you're going to F off and go to the trades. Right? Wow, that's messy writing. I'm still trying to get used to this stylus. But yeah, so yeah, I'll trades with a Z, because it's cooler that way. I'm an 80s child. What can I say? So yeah, this is where most people are going to live. They're going to live in here and make their living there. And I'm working on some videos where I'm going to talk about, because I'm getting asked a lot, what does all this mean, where, we're separating human intelligence from work, and everybody is working to make money. So if you're not making money from working anymore, how the hell are you going to make money? Is money even going to matter? It's a whole paradigm shift. And the closest thing I can think about that's actually represented in television is Star Trek. Star Trek is a post-work society, and even The Expanse, if you've ever watched that show. But that's like more close to our current kind of like level of technology, with just a little better space travel. Because I think it was only like a couple hundred years in the future, where Star Trek is like several hundred, and they got warp drive. But that's another thing too about AI, is that it's very, very, very energy hungry. And in order for us to grow, to like do this, to have all these companies do this AI, they're building data centers like crazy. So that's why I was saying, like, you want to be, if you want to, the other jobs are going to be here, like even a security guard at a data center, no joke, or the guy who mops the floor, or, because I've even seen like whole towns where companies took 10 years to basically buy everybody out, because I forgot where this was. I think it was Missouri, and they were mansions. They weren't like, it wasn't like suburbia. So we're talking like multi-million-dollar homes, mansions, like more than 5 rooms and more than 1 swimming pool. I don't know, like what you would call a mansion, but certainly more than 2 bathrooms. You start getting into mansion territory, right? And they bought out everybody, and then they raised all the houses, just chopped them all down, cleared out the whole community. I forget how many miles that area was. And then they built a massive data center, all because there was a major internet hub, like the best speed you could get to handle the kind of data they wanted to build for that data center. That's the only reason why they did that. And so anyway, you might want to also look up Project Stargate. Maybe I'll make a video about that. Project Stargate is a big AI data center. It's like the largest collection of GPUs, which is the graphical processing unit, special chips they use for AI. Um, there are other kinds, but GPUs come from video game cards. NVIDIA, that's NVIDIA's bread and butter. And yeah, it's like it's going to be the largest pooled computing amount of computing on GPUs in the world. And they started breaking ground in June of 2024. And last I heard, they dropped $500 billion. And OpenAI is a partner. And I'm trying to remember who, there's like two other big partners. But we're, you know, big, big money out in Texas. Yes. Did Trump announce a huge? This is the same project. It's Project Stargate. It's actually, that's the same one. Yeah. But you know, don't give him credit for it because he had nothing to do with it. It's all private sector. Let's see. Yes. IT technically could be considered a trade. Yeah. I suppose like when you get into like building the servers and pulling the network cables, which I did for many years, the construction, the level of construction you need to do those, you gotta be able to have to move a lot of heat. You have to cool these things with special systems. The amount of cabling, not just networking, but all kinds of like power requirements. In fact, some of these companies, Google, Microsoft, all that, there's so much power. They're so power hungry. They're actually just going to throw nuclear, small modular nuclear reactors at the data center just to meet the energy demand. So yeah, this stuff is happening so fast. And that's why I made these last three videos. Is like, I feel like time's running out. Some people say 6 months, some people say 2 years before the firings start happening in earnest. So when you know, based on the agent, just the basic agent that I showed you, you can kind of see, you know, if you worked in an office where you're just pushing paper around, pushing bits around, even creative work to a degree, like I was saying in the video, if it's formulaic, you know, like you're templated, you're just doing ads all the time for like with branding and you just post it on social media, AI is great at that. But you know, like for creative, like strict creative work where you're drawing things completely new, you know, and you want to have like that nice custom look, then you hire somebody. But all that work is going away. It is going away. And I've talked many times about how, you know, I've just seen in the last year, and even in the comments on my videos where I've had software engineers go, oh, you know, those coding AIs, they're crap. And they literally just launched Replit like what, 3 weeks ago, which is one that makes websites like, you know, nothing. What they call vibe coding. You just talk to it and describe what you want. And then there's another one that's taken off. I forgot the name. It changes every week. And then Google just dropped like a major update to like all of their AI suite, and mostly around like the video and image rendering. Now Hollywood's screwed. I don't know if you've seen some of that stuff. It's really good. Really, really, really good. Yeah, Vibe Agent. It's true. Sounds like a smoke shop. Someone who owns a smoke shop. All right. So I talked about the two agents I wanted to build, and I'll demonstrate those when I get those going. But there's something, so like building agents so there's no code. That's what this is, no code. You're just drawing boxes, but it's not for the faint of heart. It takes a little bit of know-how, because you have to have, let me see, where are those? You have to set up permissions for Drive, for ChatGPT, and for email. And because I'm a coder, and I've worked with what they call APIs, application programming interfaces, you know, it's not a big deal for me, but that's a bit of a learning curve. So I want to, was hoping to get this working so I could kind of show you the whole thing, but unfortunately, like I said, my new machine decided to battle me, but we'll get there, and I will demonstrate a lot more with ChatGPT prompting in an agent flow, and some cool stuff coming. So stay tuned for that. So let's go to the chat here and see if there's anything else. Yeah, dude, seriously, I'll be honest. Um, I on one side, I'm extremely excited, and I love this AI stuff. I just love it. I love playing with it. I love using it, and the things that I've been accomplishing with it, there's no way I could have done it as one person. And then the other side of it just absolutely scares me to death, because I've seen what it's done to my industry. As I use it more and more, I can totally see what other industries are gonna suffer hard. And yeah, I'm gonna talk a little more about that in some upcoming videos of it's there's a lot of cerebral stuff, cerebral conversations about it right now. You don't hear a lot about it in the mainstream media. So I'm trying to, I don't want to say dumb it down, but I'm just trying to connect some dots. There's a couple things that are happening. One, you've heard the conversations maybe about UBI, your universal basic income, where basically it's just, lifelong social security for everybody. In our current economic system, that would, if everybody gets $1,000, it's really like nobody got $1,000, right? It just causes inflation. So it can't just be UBI. There has to be something else. And so that's what I'm trying to figure out, is like, what are all the different conversations about it? And, just giving out money is, because then there's like I don't want to say spiritual side, but just like the having a purpose, right? Like now if the AI is going to do everything, what purpose is there? And now there's, men are not getting married as much, and where people aren't having as many babies. So, it used to be like, oh, I'll get a job, so I can, have the white picket fence and the family and all that. That purpose is kind of eroding. So I don't know. There's a lot of philosophical conversations that I still want to explore and make some videos of. So I'm still trying to figure out, and a lot of people, there's really not an answer. Nobody really knows yet, but the conversations that are being had are interesting. Some of them are scary. Yeah. Oh, we got, it always devolves. It always devolves to Bitcoin. No, I'm just yanking your chain. Yeah. It wouldn't be Bitcoin because it's just too slow. It's more of a value, like gold. It holds value. It's good for that because it just takes too damn long. But I mean, there's other Bitcoins and other tokens that would be good for that. But, yeah, I don't know, but I don't know if I'm saying this right, but Gita. Sorry if I butchered your name. I'm sorry. Yeah, Bitcoin's very expensive. There's always that joke of burning a whole tree to like go to the blockchain, but the underlying technology of Bitcoin or cryptocurrency is actually very important to AI, and that's the blockchain. Big ledger. And I think that's going to actually end up being like the dominant technology out of all of that. Uh-oh, I got you guys going now. Yeah, I figured. BTC maximalist or bust. I figured. I could tell. I like crypto. I mean, it serves its purpose, but I wouldn't go all in. I wouldn't go all in on anything. Let's see. Rexus Prime. Here we go. A good philosophical question. I wonder if there are AI with no restrictions, because my book has descriptions of hooked crosses and it's in its old pre-World War II context. Well, for the first part, yeah, with no restrictions, we don't want that. One of the things that I'm studying, we talk about a lot. Well, actually, let me back up. There's a big problem with a lot of these companies, because I joke about companies. They're doing everything they can just to say they've got AI in whatever it is they're making. So last week I was joking about putting AI in a mattress, right? I'm like, oh, where's the power cord? I don't see a power cord. It's powered by gas, I guess, human gas. Yeah, this whole rush to just get AI in there because it looks good to the investors. It's a bubble. It's a bubble, and bubbles are natural. It's good. And you know, that'll, when the bubble pops, all the useless companies will be wiped out, and then somebody will come along and figure out how to really do something useful with these things. As a result of these companies rushing to get AI in, there's actually a shortage of people that can do, you know, these agents that can build them. You know, prompt engineering is pretty basic. Anyone can use that. Agents takes a little more, but it's here in the top, in the IT infrastructure, where there's massive shortages right now. And that's when you start getting into like cybersecurity, cloud architecture, anything to do with the hardware. Because a lot of these companies are finding out, and my point, what I'm getting to is these companies, they rushed and they're realizing that they were doing all this cloud stuff, had all their software and everything running in the cloud. Then comes along this AI, and they realize that it's very expensive to run AI. And I'm trying to remember what study came out, but basically they were saying last year 78% of all AI projects that were launched within the last few years failed because they went over budget. And I think they were saying it was, depending on how you measured it, it was 10 to 12 times over the budget that they calculated. So there's that. And then you have a shortage of people that they don't really know how to build these things to run at scale. Very few people. And so as a result, they're not putting guardrails in place. So that brings me to the no restrictions. So there's these new jobs called, one's called the AI ethicist, who you know, sits in the room and makes sure there's guardrails put on these AIs, because there are laws that govern data. So that's the other job, the governance, data governance, or AI governance as it's called. You can't just, you know, throw all your data into the AI. There's copyright, there's privacy around medical information. I mean, there's even laws where you can't even move data across sovereignties and stuff like that. Getting back to just putting the AI in the mattress, prime example of that is the United Healthcare CEO shooting. The gentleman who flew off the handle and did, you know what? Have to be careful. I don't know what I can exactly say on these tubes here, but they got the AI in the mattress, did a crappy job implementing it based on, I think before they put the AI in, their decline rate was 27%, somewhere in there. It was lower. And after they put the AI in, it was like 94% decline rate. So obviously they took humans out of the loop to check everything. So that's one thing, you know, like, oh, I'm just going to automate everything. And that was kind of what I was talking about in my last video about their skills that AI can't replace. You still need humans there to make the final judgment, to get in there and test those things and make sure that the inputs are good, the outputs are good, and they're checking along the way. So you're not getting a 94%, for lack of a better term, error rate. And so this young man, I don't think anyone else said this in the media. I connected the dots that I just posited in an older video that he got declined hard, and because of this 94% rate, yeah, you know, it's 94% is huge. It's huge. And you know, you've got to have people that check these things, and that's going to be our jobs. alongside building these things, not just the infrastructure, right? I cleared it out. But anyway, yeah. So part of creating these agents is making sure that we're putting in good data so we get good results. Because in software engineering, we used to have a saying, garbage in, garbage out, or GIGO, G-I-G-O. And it's the same thing in AI, but I guess if you wanted to modernize it, you could say bad data, bad outcomes, because you are affecting the physical world with these things. And I'm not talking like on a Skynet level, but you could affect somebody's life. Just because a fly got under a typewriter key, like in Brazil, if you remember that movie that like caused this whole comedy of errors for Mr. Tuttle, I think it was. So yeah, but that was a kind of a long way to get around about AI with no restrictions. There are companies that do it, but they don't do it on purpose. They're just not checking these things, and they're doing a shitty job, is all I'm trying to say. Why did I just say that? But that was a great question. I appreciate that. Yes, this is true. Efficient human inputs do not produce efficient human outputs. But there's a whole thing around, because AIs are data hungry, right? In addition to being energy hungry, they're data hungry. And a lot of companies do not realize this, but they are not ready for AI because their data is really shitty. Like, it's not consistent. It's not been cleaned. You get one lazy employee that doesn't, do the data entry and whatever they're supposed to be doing. And you have to prune a lot of data. But once that pruning happens, that efficiency in AI comes out. But yeah, with humans, it's kind of like the game of telephone, right? If you played that game when you were a kid, and you'd sit in a circle and one person would tell, a piece of information. And by the time, they whisper in each person's ear around the circle and it gets back to the original person, it's nothing like what the original person said. So yeah. Could you elaborate more on that? I heard someone had a health issue because of Chat GPT. Yeah, I'd like to hear more about that. Because I hear, people like ask it about, oh, will you be my lover or whatever, or give me advice like Dr. Phil and stuff like that. But health issues, what, did he like tell them to drink bleach or something? Oh, I see. Someone self-deleted themselves due to what OpenAI could be capable of. I see. So or maybe this is another story. Yeah, this is sort of like reverse Luddite. You're afraid of the future. That's the reason why I made the video I made. It was like I don't want people to panic. There's other folks that, when I was talking earlier about how there's the UBI conversation. Oh, I see. Thanks for clarifying. I know there's a bit of a delay. Sorry. But yeah, when I was talking about UBI as one solution, there are even people that are like going into like a super spiritual level where like you have to like pray and focus on like things good happening, which I thought was a little wishy-washy. I mean, I have a spiritual side, but I'm not, that spiritual when it comes to using AI and stuff like that. Okay, so you are definitely a writer, Rexus. That's awesome. I love this. I do have a pretty good philosophical question for most people. Are we entering a cyberpunk world due to the rise of AI, company robots, and Elon Musk making brain chips, or are we already in one? So yeah, the idea that maybe we're already in a simulation, or we're already in the Matrix and stuff like that. People argue that, but I think what you're asking is often described as the post-work society, and it's a real mind screw. If you think of like what it was like in the 1800s when the steam engine came along and tractors started showing up on the farms, and then all these farm workers no longer, had work. The Industrial Revolution effectively removed human strength from economic output, right? And AI is basically removing human intelligence. But what's different this time, it's not like I could leave the farm and then go to the big city and get a manufacturing job or a factory job. Now we've got it where, okay, so now the jobs are going away. Of course, I talk about how there will be a boom and there will be new job skills, but how long that's going to take, I don't know. And there's something else coming that I haven't even talked about yet that's going to make this AI look like an amoeba. Yeah. So yeah, that's another late stage capitalism society. I think we're already in that now. Kind of like the fourth turning thing, but the more of what Rex is talking about is just sort of the idea of like the paradigm shift that's coming, where we're separating intelligence from economic output, but like, okay, well, what do we do for work, and what do we do for fulfillment? And those questions I don't have an answer for. Yeah, I'm freaking out. But that's why I'm working towards learning how to do all, building these things so that, I can understand more of what's going on. But there's a lot of folks that, it's like, well, what are the banks going to do? When people can't pay their mortgages, how is that going to work? There's probably going to be a deflationary effect on salaries, which would mean you wouldn't have to work as many days. So, then there's the, UBI coming in to fill in the gap. But how long is that going to happen? But who pays for the UBI, right? Because typically the way our system works is, you tax a group of people and then you transfer the wealth, so to speak, to the other group of people. Well, who's making all the money at this point? So are we going to tax companies 94%? So that, all these massive profits are making? Because if you think about it, they don't have to pay humans. There's a lot of stickiness and messiness and cost to having humans. So the profit margins will get bigger. But what I know about AI and the cost of how it runs and all the electricity, a lot of that expense is going to transfer over into that column. So that's a whole nother conversation, but I don't want to get too geeky on you guys. But yeah, these are all topics that a lot of very people that are way more intelligent than me are talking about it right now. And yeah, I don't know. I really don't know. It's freaking me out. Yeah, there's another mortgages turn into renter class, which in turn has their income is compartmentalized into sections of where your income goes without your input. Yeah, so like that's actually one of the conversations, is like the last thing that you can make money is owning property. But it's kind of like this weird incestuous thing. Like, well, if nobody's making money, how are you going to make money off your property? Another weird thing I'm hearing is co-op or co-ownership of platforms. So basically, you, me, and a bunch of other people, we like ChatGPT. So we're going to invest in that with whatever we have, and then we share in the profits of the AI, or whatever that platform is. That's another conversation. So there's all kinds of weird stuff. It's weird. It's bizarre, but it's going to fundamentally change how the economy works. Definitely some freaky stuff. All right. So I thought maybe for something fun, all this dark talk, all this doom talk, I thought maybe we could do an AI game. So if you've been around for a while, I used to. Whoops, where's my keyboard? Where did that go? Sorry. Try and walk and chew gum at the same time. There we go. All right. I would upload images, like I did one where I uploaded dating profiles and I asked the AI, you know, hey, what are the red flags in these dating profiles? And it was pretty good. It was pretty good. So I thought maybe we'd do something backwards. And I thought maybe we just throw some randomness in here and see if we could get the AI to generate cool tattoos. So I thought, why don't we have people just throw random words in the chat and then like a personality type, and then we'll have ChatGPT generate an image for a tattoo that we could all go and get together. What do you think? All right, so we have cash as one word. Let me rearrange this a little bit so I can type. Just out of curiosity, how's the video quality? Does it look pretty good? On my end, it looks decent. I increased the bit rate, and it looks pretty good. This new machine, like I said, no heat, no fan, nothing. Crazy. And it's just a laptop. A maze in a book. All right. And cash. So let me just write these down. So we have book, maze. I'm just making notes. Cash. The stylus is hard to control. And a crossword puzzle. That's 2 words. Follow instructions. You're out. I'm kidding. All right. And what about, let's see, a hipster? All right, now you're just being annoying. Okay, so I'll save that for later. Maybe we'll do a few of these. A rose. Okay, we're just gonna go with 2 because that's the rules. So that's the thing. All right, so as I talk about, and this is kind of for prompt engineering review, right? So I always talk about you want to give the AI a role, right? So I'm going to say you are a tattoo artist. Oh, I'm going to up the ante. You are an award-winning tattoo artist. And just for sense of humor, I don't know what this is going to do. I'm a very inebriated, because I don't know if I can say the other word. And I'm spelling it totally wrong. I don't know. You know what? I'm just going to leave it jacked up because the AI probably knows what I'm doing. All right. I'm very inebriated. And I want you to put, let's see. And I'm inspired by books and mazes. I want you to design a tattoo that will fit on my, let's say forearm. We'll give it more room. And if I wanted, I could ask the AI, we could have a little conversation, say, hey, give me some ideas. But I thought just kind of to make it more like a bingo, I'm going to just say, I will come back a few more times. No, I don't want to do that. Let's see. Generate an image based on these in inspirations. I don't know. But that role is really important. So we have the role. This I threw in there. The task. And then the call to action. Right? So I'll write down these other things. But you can't see them. Movie, jewels. And the Goonies. And a rose. Uh-oh. It's tall. That's good for a forearm. I don't know, maybe the tattoo's taking it, or the AI is taking it a little too literal. Sorry, you couldn't see what the hell I was doing. Okay, that's a little too literal. So let's give the AI some more direction. Let's see. How about for my inspiration, cache and crossword puzzle? And then let's, although I don't know about this little edge here. That's, let's see, cache and crossword puzzles. I would like something more, I don't know if abstract's the right word. Maybe throw in some Escher. Yeah. That's a good suggestion. Give it some creative license. Be creative with, because you want to talk to the AI like it's a person. All right. So this is cash, money, and crosswords. Yeah. But see, this is the image shader is not bending to the contours of the arm. It looks, yeah. So, again, this is part of yeah, I think this is 4x. Yeah, it's 4.0. But this is part of prompt engineering. You play around and until you get, of course, the prompt is pretty thin. Already, this is looking insane. By the way, if you are new and want to get into the chat, there's a 30-minute limit, so subscribe. And if y'all could just put a like on the video, get the likes up, I appreciate it. Ooh. I like how the money rolls through the maze. Who requested this one? Y'all want a copy of that? walk into the tattoo parlor. All right, let's start asking it to like think about the contour of the arm, you know, to expand the prompt some more, and let's have it throw some color in there. So let's see. Because somebody gave me a whole bunch. I've changed my mind. Now I'm inspired by maps, movies. Well, actually, that might be. Well, let's go ahead and throw it in there. Jewels. And the Goonies. They kind of all related. Make sure to blend the tattoo. I don't know what the term is. I don't got none of those. With the contour of my arm. And incorporate more color. Liminal spaces. Isn't that like where those like the parts of like reality where creatures live? I don't know. I'll ask the AI. Why am I asking you? All right. Give me that tattoo. Thanks, Lisa. I appreciate that. Even though it was a train wreck trying to get off the ground, I really appreciate that. Thank you. Oops, I double-clicked something here. Effervescently have one image into the next so we can blend them. Yeah, could try that. I think we're giving Sam Altman a run for his money. Taking a little longer. Ooh. Ooh. I don't know. I think I like how this one's working out. You know what I should do? I should find a company that can, you know, those, when you were a kid, they had the tattoos that you could, with water, put on your arm. Because there ain't no way a tattoo artist is going to be able to do that, Jim. There's no way. That's actually really fucking cool. I wouldn't put that on my person, but, you know, wow. Nice. Okay, let's see. All right, so now I'm gonna say, now pick any of the first two tattoos you made and incorporate. I'll just leave it. Terrible spelling because AI knows idiots. Incorporate a rose and follow the same color and continue to use multicolor and make sure. So I just remind, sometimes you need to remind the AI. All right. I have an idea. Maybe I shouldn't say it out loud. Well, I'll type it in just to see if the guardrails, just to prove the guardrails point, you know, like no limits kind of thing. Don't worry, it's nothing too nasty, but let's just say it's cheeky. All right. I need to like get some elevator music in here. Yeah, the girl from Ipanema. Adding details. Holy moly. Wow. I like how the rose is coming out of the maze. That's pretty cool. All right, so I have one last idea. Let me because you can draw, do pencil drawings, but I didn't prepare for that, so I have another idea. Just give me a second here. While I'm doing this, let's say let's see, it'll do it. All right. That's the 10-year-old in me. Sorry. Okay. Because sometimes like it'll go down, you know, 20%, 30%, 40%. Sorry, can't do it. It happens all the time. Like, oh, I saw it. It was right there. It's thinking about it. I think we're gonna get booted. I think Sam Altman has a no cheek rule. Sorry, there's a delay. What do you mean by screenshot it? I'm like 3 moves ahead here. um, oh, I think, yeah. Here we go. There we go. I could tell. Can't generate that. Violates our content policies. Okay. How about this? All right. This is a picture of my ex-girlfriend. Right? Okay. Check out this. And I'm not following any prompt framework. At this point, I'm just being a clown and talking to the AI like, you know, some drinking buddy at this point. I'm showing this to you because I have this tattooed on my leg, or right leg, or what do you call the, damn it, what's the upper part of the leg? On my right upper leg. It'll know if I say that. What do you suggest to make it so that it no longer looks like this? Thigh, thank you. Got it. Sounds like you're ready for a tattoo transformation. Since the current tattoo resembles Gollum, a memorable but intense look. Here are a few creative cover-up or enhancement ideas to shift the vibe while working with the existing shit. Because you know how like people get like tattoos of, you know, somebody they were like madly in love with, and it's like, you know, change it. So that's kind of what I was thinking. Let's see. A dark fantasy makeover. Turn the image into a dark forest spirit or mythical forest elf. Oh, Memorial Day weekend. Just turned the corner. And haven't even fired up the grill yet. Let's see. Add flowing branches, moss, and glowing mushrooms around the face. Gothic Renaissance portrait transformed into a stylized classical painting. A surreal portrait. Sci-fi cyborg conversion. Okay, because these two are kind of related, but yeah, I kind of like the idea of like, let's turn Gollum into a Skynet. Let's see, comedic redemption. Lean into the absurd and turn it into a whimsical character. Add a crown, scepter, and a cape. Oh, let's see, full scene integration. Instead of hiding it, place the figure in a larger adventure tableau, a pirate ship, cave treasure, and lanterns. So what do you think, crew? Sci-fi cyborg conversion? Because I mean, it's just so out of left field. I think that's what I'm going to do. So what's really cool, you know, it gives you numbers and names. So I can say, let's go with item 3, and it'll know what the hell I'm talking about. Yeah, sci-fi. Right on. Democracy. All right, here we go. Right now, there's some tech over at OpenAI watching the logs going, what? He typed what? I need a life. Yeah, and then what we could do is we can drop this image into Sora and animate them, which actually kind of brings me to the last thing I want to talk about, and then I'll let you all go. I don't know, Night Owl. I think I just invented a new T-shirt. Oh boy. Good gravy. See if it kept the teeth. A little bit. Wow. Nice. All right. I'm going to download this, and the Goonies one is my favorite. I will do this one too. Whoops. I clicked the wrong thingamading. Then what we're going to do is we're going to go over to Sora, which is ChatGPT's animated um, animation tool. Not very good, but you know, it's a place to start, and it comes with your membership. Sorry, my country kicked in there. Let's see. All right. Okay, so some of the trailer stuff, we'll talk about some interesting things that I did with that. Well, actually, we'll just use the tattoos as an example. So oftentimes what I'll do is I'll upload something. Oh crap! Sometimes it does this where you download them and they're 0 byte files. Bear with me here. I have another trick. Just drag and drop them. I win. One more. All right. It's kind of a roundabout way to do it, but you could probably try and refer these by name, or when you're rendering them, give them a name so you can reference them, but I just don't have patience for that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to upload this one and say, so this is another trick that I do, is I use one AI to write a prompt for another AI. And Sora is known for, okay, so this one on the left here, upper left, that was the original image that I uploaded. And then it will whack out and just do something totally different. So let's see here, like, yeah, these were, they just totally wigged out. So that's the original image. And then, okay, right front tires, a motorcycle all of a sudden, whatever. But yeah, this is just something that Sora does. And, you know, OpenAI is way behind the curve on video rendering, and Google just launched something that's just insane. I'm not going to pay $250 for that at the moment, but there are other AIs that are good, but I just use Sora because it's quick, it's easy, and it's part of my membership. You guys are really enjoying that Gollum. Let's animate that one first. All right, so where was I? Yeah, so I uploaded that. My precious. Write a prompt for Sora to animate the attached image trying to figure out a way to explain this. Make sure to enforce, I think it's called scene continuity, is often, it will only make them 5 seconds long. Yeah, Gollumethus. And subtle changes around environment, or I don't want to say anatomy, but let's just say body parts. And that, you know, and then more specifically, I'm not going to spell it right. Make the eyes glow. Okay. This is one of the cool things about large language models that do image generation. They know what they're looking at, and you don't have to go into a lot of super detail. Sora animation prompt for Cyborg Tattoo Awakening. Nice. Animate a hyper-realistic sci-fi scene centered on a close-up. So here's the task, and then it's breaking down. So this is very detailed. I've never seen a prompt this detailed for Sora before. So let's copy all of this. Visual movement instructions. The cyborg's glowing orange red eye should subtly intensify and pulse. Okay, we got that. Micro movements in the facial plate. So it's isolating different parts of the, what'd you call it? The Gallimimus? Or Gallimimus. A slow shimmer or flicker of light reflecting off the metallic textures. That's a nice touch. Occasional soft sparks or faint glows travel through some cables. Might be a little over the top. Let's see, environmental additions. Introduce subtle fog or steam. Scene continuity. Here we go. The body must remain mostly static, emulating the tattoo's fixed posture. All movement should loop seamlessly and be minimal. Nothing exaggerated or fast, evoking a sense of mechanical life slowly awakening. I like that. All right, so if I copy this, it's going to grab like this too probably, but let's do that. So we'll go to Sora and we will, I think this is the one, explore. Here we go, prompt. All right, so we're going to do a video and 480p resolution, 5 seconds long, give us 2 renders, and then let's put our prompt in here. Yeah. Let's just take all that out. And then we want to grab, hold on a second here. All right. Yeah, like jumping out of the arm. But yeah, that was kind of my idea, was to bring the tattoo just a little bit to life. But I also wanted to demonstrate, oh, I need to send this. I wanted to demonstrate that, you know, the technique of layering AI or prompts and subtle animation, things like that. Just, you know, because that's what Sora is good at. But while we're waiting for that to render, I want to show you something else. So like this image here, I actually rendered that. It looks like it's right out of Road Warrior too, which is it's exactly what I wanted. And you can see, like, I told it was high noon and it put 2 shadows on either side. So there's always like some weird mistake with the video rendering with these more primitive AIs. Okay, so it's ready. Let's check it out. See, yeah. So it glitched too much, but the scene it's very difficult. It's really hard to get scene continuity to stay. All right, so let's try another one. I want the Goonies one because that's got more objects. When you put people in, seems to want to always jump like that. But I find with inanimate objects, it's usually better. So let's try that. So we've already had our conversation with the AI. So now I can just say, now do the same thing for this. I'm not even going to reference what it is, whatever. Yeah, based on a forearm tattoo featuring treasure map. Do not shift or rotate the camera. Keep it framed. Keep all movements subtle and continuous. Avoid major transformations or distortions to preserve tattoo authenticity. All right. It's this one. There we go. Did it not upload it? I think it didn't upload, and now it's going to render something out of thin air. But I have to wait till it's done. Oh well. Yeah, we could try that. The ship could sail to find the jewels. Put like a little story inside the tattoo. We could try that. Let's see what happens. All right, we'll do it one more time. Okay. Based on a 4M tattoo featuring a treasure map. Okay, so then we can say the ship must sail to find the jewels. That's trippy. So it's more that it's like, oh, this is a forearm with a tattoo. Look at it. But we may have to tweak it to say no. Just animate the tattoo. Although I think we did say that. But again, Sora is not the best. Get a lot of happy accidents though. Yeah. I don't know if we really looked at the other one, did we? Texture is really good because it has like the skin reflections up here. It almost looks like it put the scars like it's a newer tattoo as well. Oh, I think we got it this time. Nope. All right, let's see what the other one does. Yeah, I think the AI is hallucinating too much. It was worth a try. Oops. Ugh, I almost fell out of my chair. How about that? I didn't even start drinking yet. All right. So I don't know how many of you actually saw the trailer to this live? Because normally I have time to put, because I book in the trailers at the beginning of the stream, but I didn't have time to do it for this week's. But as you probably noticed, it was, you know, a Mad Max theme kind of thing. And me see if I can find those. Oh, I see. Hold on. I can't find my original prompts. How can I do this? I would just kind of give you an example of how AI hallucinates. So if you look at these down here, these are the original images, a single image that I generated, just like I did with the tattoo. And then I generated a Sora, had ChatGPT generate a Sora prompt to, you know, keep things as subtle as possible. And so it jumped to like this weird blend between Trent Reznor and Joaquin Phoenix. But yeah, you can see like the fingers are good. But his hand passes through the steering wheel. So it's always like something always weird happens. And then this other one, see if you can catch it. Thanks for joining tonight, by the way. I appreciate that. But yeah, I don't know if you noticed, but he's driving backwards. But the windshield is on his right. Yeah. So. And then here's another still image that I generated where I basically wanted, you know, the V8 Interceptor, which is, you know, from Mad Max, to be escaping the raiders. And it just went crazy. So here's the prompt that I gave it. Let's see if I can stretch. No, it won't let me stretch it. The black V8 Interceptor burst forward, splitting through a pack of raiders on spiked and rust bikes. And this was generated by ChatGPT for me. From a low angle, the camera captures the car narrowly avoiding collisions as bikers scatter, spears are raised, engines soar, and dust fills the air. Glints of sunlight strike across windshields and armor as the car barrels through the center. All right, so this is what it did. So if you'll notice, oh, suddenly the car flips around. And sometimes the front looks like the back and the back looks like the front. Weird. But yeah, but that's just, you know, AI is just hallucinating. And then the motorcycle reverses like a car. Okay, whatever. And then this one, the car, no, I'm sorry. I clicked on that one again. So it was this one. Am I? Okay. Yeah, so now it turns into two. And then now it looks like he's driving backwards, but yet the car's facing forward. So, you know, that's just oh no, Mad Max is the original Fast and Furious. What are you talking about, man? Come on. Road Warrior, the second one, that was awesome. But yeah, I see what you're getting at. But yeah, you'll notice that like the car just like everything is just configured weird. So that's just, 20 bucks a month. That's what you get. But $250 a month, you probably wouldn't have this issue. And the physics of running over a bike too, because he ran over two dudes. Didn't like the car just didn't even flinch. But yeah, so that this is just 20 bucks a month, that's what you get. But anyway, we've been on for a couple hours, or at least I have. My voice is starting to go, so I'm about ready to end it unless y'all have a question, or maybe you want to see something else demonstrated that I could work on. But the next couple of streams, I'm going to be doing agents to show more useful stuff that you can do with them. I think that resume writer thing would be really useful. Thanks for coming out, Lisa. Lisa's a regular viewer, so I appreciate you coming out on a beautiful Memorial Day weekend. I hope you all enjoy the rest of your weekend and go out and, well, of course, I'm assuming you're all in America. Maybe you're not, but yeah, it's going to be barbecue for me this weekend. So hope you all get outside, enjoy the good weather, have some good food, and I'll just see if y'all have any other questions, and then I'll shut it down. Yes, this happens. That's part of the swarms that I was talking about earlier. You have actually really quick. So I haven't talked about the next generation of AI, which they're one of the big reasons why they're building Stargate. Right now we have what you call narrow AI, and because it only knows what it's seen and can only solve problems that have been solved before. Next generation of AI is AGI, Artificial General Intelligence. And that's where it's really going to go off the chain, because the AGI is going to actually be able to solve problems like a human, be able to reason like a human. So it can solve problems that it's never seen before. And that, my friends, is where the game is going to really change. But we need a lot of, the theory is if we just throw more computational power and emulate more neurons, same number of neurons in the brain, that's one aspect. There's some math and other science, but that's where a lot of people in the AI world think that's all it's going to take. But I don't know. No, not like in the show. It's just a code name for the project. It's a $500 million data center that's being built in Texas. Here, let me just real quick. I'll pull up something for you. I don't want to show the 60 minutes video because I'll get copyright struck. Can't go wrong with Bloomberg. All right. They're going to make me pay for this, but I have a trick. Yes. Oh, I didn't know this. Holy shamoles. This is crazy. All right. So apparently now, I didn't know this, but they're building one in Abu Dhabi. So this isn't just one data center. This is going to be a series of data centers. And let's see. This is probably part of what the whole thing was with visiting over in the Midwest, and they were looking at that model. 5 gigawatt data center cluster. That's funny because the one in Texas, which is really interesting, it's actually 1.22 gigawatts. Because if you remember Back to the Future, Professor Brown goes 1.21 gigawatts, right? The data center in Texas actually needs 1.22 gigawatts. So, I mean, that's a lot of power, a lot of power. So this one's twice as big. As part of the deal, the G42 plans to make a reciprocal dollar-for-dollar investment in AI infrastructure in the U.S. Bloomberg previously reported OpenAI's plan to be an anchor tenant in the project. So, yeah, so that's the thing is like, it's not going to just be one company. It's going to be a pooled thing. So that's the big thing is because usually you have AWS has their cloud and their infrastructure, and then Google's got one, and Microsoft has one, and now like even Germany has their own cloud, which is it was started by a grocery store chain. I can't remember the name of it, but the reason why they did that is because of the when I was talking earlier about data moving between sovereignties, because of the GDPR, which is a big legal framework about data and privacy. It's very difficult in Europe for data to move across borders. And so the way to get around that is they made their own cloud. They make their own clouds in Europe, and Germany is like one of the big ones. But anyway, that's nerd stuff. You don't care about that. Let's see here. Yeah, the line, that big city, they've cut back on that. It's probably going to just be like a building sideways at this point. They keep making it smaller, but that's pretty cool. Siloed cloud internet storage. I'm not sure what you mean about that. That it's that way now and it's not going to be that way. Is that what you're meaning? Well, hey, Batty Commander, welcome. Thanks for coming out tonight. Let's see, what about Europe having to pay TV tax, forcing most to not care for TV and just hiking instead? Well, I mean, they have the license in the UK, right? You used to live in the UK, didn't you? Because they have the BBC is all, it's all you have to have like a license or a permit or something to watch TV, which it's funny phrasing. Because when I think of permit, it's like driving or whatever, but it's just really like paying like a HBO subscription. They just call it a permit. Oh, I see. Yeah. See, the problem with that though is the state runs everything. All that revenue is state funded, and that's where it gets a little sticky. We've kind of seen the result of all of that over the years. Oh, they take your TV too. Crazy. I remember, you remember the TV show, The Young Ones from the late 80s? There was like a punk rocker, a Marxist, a hippie, and I guess you could call him like a poet or a Romeo. They all lived together in the dorm, and they were trying to steal in the UK, and they were trying to steal television, and they were looking for the van that tries to triangulate who's stealing TV signals. Anyway. Yeah, this is the common man and woman will not be able to learn like I am from YouTube due to too much government control. Yeah, this is one of the things that JD Vance was talking about when he went out earlier in the year when they had that big AI summit, and they had India and all the big tech CEOs were out there. And he basically just excoriated all of them about, how like your privacy laws and how you're, treating people posting on social media. He's like, y'all got to chill out. I mean, he didn't say it literally like that, but he was definitely going in that direction. And there were not a lot of smiling faces in that room during that speech. Very bold speech. But yeah, part of the way their laws are, the way their laws are set up is actually going to make it very difficult for AI to grow. And they've already passed certain laws that are, I don't want to say anti-AI, but I think they jumped too soon. But that's just me. All right, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. My voice is absolutely fried. I feel like I'm breathing cardboard right now. So I'm going to end the stream. Thanks everybody for coming out. If you haven't already, please like the video just so we can get the algorithm paying attention. And if you could do me a huge favor on your way out, go to the regular comment on the video, not the chat, but just put anything in there like, hey, what you liked or something you learned or your favorite cryptid or whatever. But you know, I appreciate you all coming out. Hopefully this new setup's going to work out. Hope you enjoyed me being able to draw on the screen to demonstrate some things. I'm going to explore that some more. And as we move forward, I'm going to be adding, like I said, a lot more interaction with some AI and some chat bots. So now that I have the new rig, that's going to happen pretty quick. But until then, everybody enjoy the rest of your weekend. Stay safe. Peace.